Hey everybody, it's Alan, and I hope you're doing well. So, if y'all saw my previous video for Free Falling by The Warning, you might know what I'm about to ask. I need the help of people who are fans of The Warning with suggestions on what to nickname my new Paul Reed Smith guitar. I ordered it long before I ever heard a single note performed by these ladies, but I've determined while I was waiting for it to arrive that I'm probably going to name it or nickname it in dedication to them. Now, I thought about utilizing their last name, but doesn't quite flow as well as I'd like it to. And then I was like, I'm going to nickname it Monterey based upon the area of Mexico that they're from. Maybe shorten that down to Monty. I'm not sure. But I could use your help. So feel free to leave some suggestions in the comment section, and let's see if somebody comes up with something cool or fun. With that said, here is Copper Bullets.
Happy as can be, picture perfect reality. Not a worry, or so it seems. Slowly the problems start to increase. He's afraid of her, and she's afraid of him, but nobody ever said a thing. He's a judge's man, and she's a lonely girl. Their picture perfect life ain't so perfect anymore. There's something taking control. What happens next? There's no way she could have known. This love was just too much to take. The words come out like razor blades. The pressure was just too much for you. The broken glass starts falling down. Her golden love spills on the ground. He grabs her on the empty sound. Copper bullets run her way. Love will be her end. Happy as can be, picture perfect reality. Not a worry, or so it seemed. Slowly their problems started to increase. He's afraid of her, but he already did, and nobody ever said a thing. He's a dangerous man, she was a lonely girl. Their picture perfect life ain't so perfect anymore. There's something taking control. What happens next? There's no way she could have known. This love was just too much to take. The words come out like razor blades. The pressure was just too much for you. The broken glass starts falling down. Her golden love spills on the ground. He grabs her on the empty sound. Copper bullets run her way. Love will be her He couldn't stand what he had done, the monster that he had become, and the guilt was just too much, so he grabbed the gun. He saw his lover on the ground, her golden love spilled from her mouth, an echo of the empty sound. Copper bullets ran his way, love was their end. Copper bullets run their way, love was their end.
Interesting. So one of the things I'm noticing in that song is Pow's bass drum. It has this almost like machine gun type repetition, which of course with a song title like Copper Bullets kind of makes a little bit of sense. You know, you get this digga digga da doo da digga digga da doo da, which is later on in a way slightly mimicked by Dany's guitar rhythm, especially after the chorus in both the outro of the song and after the first and second choruses. It's interesting because, again, it's an interesting way of reinforcing the song title. My moment of hesitation right there purely comes from the fact that it just dawned on me that I am doing a song called Copper Bullets just after, or a little bit after, what had happened at Brown University and what had happened in Australia. And so I think I'm going to refrain to going any deeper into that whole conversation about about bullets and machine guns and stuff like that. And we're just going to listen to the music.
Happy as can be, picture perfect reality. Not a worry, or so it seems. Slowly the problems start to increase. He's so afraid of her, then she's afraid of him. But nobody ever says a thing. He's a dangerous man, and she's a lonely girl. Their picture perfect life ain't so perfect anymore. There's something taking control. What happens next? There's no way she could have known. This love was just too much to take. The words come out like razor blades. The pressure was just too much for you. The broken glass starts falling down. Her golden look stones on the ground. He grabs a gun, the empty sound. Copper bullets shine her way, love will beat her in. Yeah, happy as can be, picture perfect reality. Not a worry, or so it seemed. Slowly their problems started to increase. He's afraid of her, but he already did, and nobody ever said a thing. He's a dangerous man, she was a lonely girl. Their picture perfect life ain't so perfect anymore. There's something taking control. What happens next? There's no way she could have known. This love was just too much to take. The words come out like razor blades. The pressure was just too much for you. The broken glass starts falling down. Her golden look spills on the ground. He grabs a gun, the empty sound. Copper bullets shine her way, love will beat her He couldn't stand what he had done, the monster that he had become, and the guilt was just too much. So he grabbed a gun. He saw his lover on the ground. Her golden look spilled from her mouth, and echo of the empty sound. Copper bullets shine his way, love will be her end. Copper bullets shine their way, love was their end.
And I got to tell you, one of the most impressive parts of that is watching Pow play drums and sing. Here's the thing I want you to try. try singing on a treadmill. The ability to have the core body strength and vocal body strength to actually sing while using as much kinetic energy as she's playing the drums without having a stutter or a fluctuation in her vocals is absolutely astounding. And not a lot of drummers can do that. I mean, not a lot of drummers can sing and play anyway, but it's incredibly impressive considering the type and style of music that she's playing and singing. It's not like she's singing pure ballads. She's actually rocking pretty hard. Her arms are flying around. She's hitting all these drums. And yes, she's using a headset mic, so it's not like she's having to stay in focus with the central point of a microphone. It's always right in front of her lips. But the breathiness that comes with the athletic ability to play the instrument combined with the strength to hold note and pitch while she's actually singing is remarkable. And so I dare anybody that wants to challenge whether or not Pau is a good singer, get on a treadmill and start singing, a Metallica song or a Alice in Chains song or an Aerosmith song or a Led Zeppelin song. Try it. Just try it and see if you don't come up with stutters and pops and clicks in your vocal track that you're not, that you have to admit would ruin the song if you were actually trying to play it live, if you're trying to perform it while doing that level of exercise or vigorous activity. It really is a very, very special aspect to Pau specifically.
Happy as can be, picture perfect reality. Not a word feels so it seems. Slowly the problems start to increase. He's afraid of hurt and she's afraid of him, but nobody ever said a thing. He's a dangerous man and she's a lonely girl. The picture perfect life. He's
You know, the whiskey is so close to here that I know people that were in that audience. Probably like a client of mine, Eduardo. I know he and his kids are real big fans of these amazing ladies, and so I would not be surprised if they were in that audience. Not surprised one bit. The more I watch Dany sing and play guitar, the more I become impressed by her. Her personality really comes through, and as much as we love to notice the look in Allie's eyes, the stare that we're all familiar with, or the look of, just really wide-eyed look that Pau puts in her eyes. I sit there and I watch Dany play, and I think to myself, there's such an expression in her body movements and her eyes, and just the look of commitment and energy she puts into everything. And again, many of you are correct when you talk about, when she's not singing lead vocal and she's unleashed from the mic stand, that she can actually move around a bit, that her energy, her almost goofiness, if you will, really adds this level of infectious energy to every song that they play. And she really is pretty damn spectacular, both as a lead singer and a guitar player. And again, I'm not going to sit there and, over glorify, shreddability. I you've heard me say it before. I'll say it again. It's not how many notes you can play. It's the soul behind the notes that you play. I'm not going to repeat myself about the Yngwie Malmsteen B.B. King comparison. It just comes down to the fact that, the reality of it is there's basically 12 notes in the Western scale, and they've all been used a trillion times in every conceivable order over the course of the last several decades or centuries, really. And so at the end of the day, to a degree, there's nothing original out there, but the originality comes from the expression with which you put those notes together and how you present them to the audience. It's the emotion that you feel. It's the sense of vibe and feeling. I think this all came up in the comments section for the video I did last week for The End. And I was talking about that riff in the end that I could not place to save my life, and I still haven't figured it out. And frankly, I kind of let the earworm slip out of my head, and I haven't really thought about it much other than when I read the comment section for that video, and people go, yeah, I know what you're talking about. There's something out there, and it's reminiscent of something. And a few of us have talked about Bryan Adams songs, and a few of us have talked about other songs, and at the end of the day, I don't think anybody's come up with exactly the thing that it sounds reminiscent to. But again, I reiterate the fact that it's not how many notes you play. It's not even the notes that you play in what order you play them, but it's how you express them. In the guitar, it's very much reminiscent of the vibrato. It's your left hand. It's your left hand and how your left hand attacks the fingerboard. Let me rephrase that, because you could be left-handed. It's about your fretting hand and how you rock the note, how you move the note, how you vibrato the note, how you trill the note, whatever it is you're doing that makes it your own. And that's why no two guitar players can play the same. As many Jimi Hendrix covers as I've heard, nobody can play like Hendrix. Nobody could play like Stevie Ray Vaughan. Nobody could do what Eddie Van Halen did. Nobody can play like Gary Moore or Jeff Beck or Jimmy Page. As much as people try to copy those great musicians, and it's a living tribute. Music is a living tribute to the artists that present it. The reality of it is as much as you might study something, there's something about you that's not going to be organically them. And so, again, it's very much about the heart behind the riff.
Happy as can be, picture perfect reality. Not a worry, or so it seems. Slowly the problems start to increase. He's afraid of her, and she's afraid of him, but nobody ever said a thing. He's a dangerous man, and she's perfect anymore. There's something taking control. What happens next? There's no way she could have known. This love was just too much to take. The words come out like razor blades. The pressure was just too much for you. The broken glass starts falling down. Her golden light fills up the ground. He grabs the gun for empty sound. Different boys run her way up will be her end. What are you doing in my house? Why the hell are you married? He couldn't stand what he had done, the monster that he had become. And the guilt was just too much, so he grabbed the gun. He saw his lover on the ground, her golden light filled from her mouth. An echo of the empty sound. Different boys ran his way, love will be the rain. Different boys run their way, love was the rain. Woo! Perdón si le pegué. Queremos agradecer a todos por estar aquí. En serio que muchas gracias por venir. Esta ha sido una de las mejores tocadas que he tenido. Buen plan, me estoy divirtiendo demasiado. Muchas gracias a todos por apoyarnos. En serio, ahorita que estábamos tocando y le escuché cantar nuestras canciones, casi me pongo a llorar. Muchas gracias. Gracias.
This is earlier than the oh my God, where's my brain? This is earlier than the whiskey performance that I played previous to this. And I'm watching Pow play and I'm thinking to myself, God, I hope she had insurance on those cymbals. You know, I'm a firm believer that if you're not getting any kind of warranty or authorized, protection on your cymbals, if you're a drummer, you're a fool. The way cymbals crack and the amount of arm energy she was putting into smashing on those cymbals, pounding on those cymbals, it just made me think to myself, like, yeah, I bet you she went through a few. I'm going to guess she cracked some crash cymbals in her time. And it's a wise purchase for anybody. I mean, when you make your living hitting things with a stick, you should probably protect yourself from destroying your own stuff. And that is the only thing I could think of. I mean, that, and again, watching the development of all three of them, but Ale and her and her movement on stage is really fairly remarkable, because again, I did Free Falling previously, and she's very young in that, and she's sort of just kind of walking in place a lot. And to watch her evolve into a little bit more of similar movements to, like Robert Trujillo and Gene Simmons and Flea and other bass players, Steve Harris, as they kind of wander around the stage, it's like, yeah, she's feeling it. She's getting used to it. She again, as she's gotten older, she's developed a stage presence that's absolutely captivating. And yeah, those are the things that popped into my head watching this one. I'm going to leave it there. Feel free to leave a comment. Again, I'm curious to find out what your suggestions would be for the naming of my new PRS. I promise I will post pictures of it, or it will be in a video soon. But anyway, I'm just curious. So feel free to leave a comment. We could talk about it further. Just know that I appreciate all of you, and I wish you well.